I've had a few people ask me about the watermelon cross shirts. We have two of them. We have a green shirt, and what we're gonna do is bleach the center, do a scrunch method with the bleach, sub it, and then afterwards we're going to do a little bit of the SEI spray tie-dye inside of the bleached areas. And then we have a plain white shirt, and we're gonna sub it and then do a scrunch method with two SEI tie-dyes. So first, I always cut my images really close to the edge. That way the bleach doesn't spread. I always spray inside of the bleach lines with this. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it on the Bella canvas. This is Heather Grass Green. I'm going to put it about 4 fingers down with my chalk. I'm gonna go ahead and outline it, and then I'll take the phone outside so we can do some bleaching outside instead of inside. I'm gonna fold it in half, just give a little crease on the edges. And then what I'm gonna do is my usual, about 3 or 4 fingers down. This is a size large, so that's why I wanted the larger print. If it was a smaller shirt, like the white one I'm gonna do later, I would have done just the 8.5 by 11. So I just kind of eyeball it, just kind of see where we're at here. And then I'm gonna take my chalk right here. I usually just scribble a little bit to get it going. And I'm gonna go right around the edges best I can. Just like so. And then this one will be ready to go to bleach when we go outside. And that's it. So what I do is the scrunch method here. And I'm very heavy-handed with my bleach. Again, I'm gonna use the amber brown glass. You can get these on Amazon. If you have any questions about it, just let me know, I'll link it. But what we're gonna do essentially is knot the center first, knot the center. So I'm going to take it and kind of scrunch the center up and kind of go over it, if that makes sense. We're going to bleach it at some point, but at this very moment, we're not doing the center. So you want to just scrunch it up as best you can and not try not to get that center too bleached at this point. So we just scrunch it up real good, like so. And we're gonna do the other side too, so you don't have to worry about the other side. Just scrunch it up really good and then give it a good spray. Like a real good spray. And if you're worried about not getting in certain places, or you want to get a little more here and there, I kind of go in and squeeze it, but give it a good bleach. I am in the shade right now, so I'm gonna pull it over to the sun just to get it in the sun for a minute, let it do its thing, start turning before we turn it over. Just get a little bit on there. Super windy here today. All right, I'll bring it back over, open it up. Now, these are Bella Canvas. And if you remember me telling you about Bella Canvas, they pool. I'm not worried about that with this one. Okay, so you see we have some bleach going on, but I wanna do more, because whenever we do the spray tie-dye on it, I wanna be able to have more spaces where I can put that, okay? So I'm gonna try not to get it too much up in this area. So I'm just gonna kind of put my hand here and just give it a nice good spray again. Give it a second, open it back up. Obviously you see we've got more. If you want to, like even in these little tiny areas, like little teeny tiny areas, we're like, oh, wait a minute, I like a little bit more scrunch there. Just spray it, open it back up, no big deal. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can do it however you want to do it. It's totally fine. So I'm liking the way that that looks on the front. So we're gonna turn it over and
we're gonna do the same thing. Now we don't want it to bleed into that center area. So just remember this area is kind of where we're gonna, you know, scrunch when we do the front. So go ahead and scrunch it on top of it. Kind of go inward so you're not getting too much on it. And as far as the back goes, completely honestly, I don't usually tie-dye the back with the pink. I haven't before, but I may do that this time around. So let's go ahead and spray this one again. This is the back. Give it a nice good saturating spray. Like I said, I don't do as much on the back. It's gonna pool a little, totally fine, no big deal. So we're gonna open that back up. Looks pretty good. You know, like I said, if you wanna add a little more, scrunch it in a spot or two, little spray, open it back up. Good, now we're gonna flip it over. And this area here, we're getting ready to bleach the center. So I'm gonna pause the video just for a second because I did forget my piece of cardboard that goes in there. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Again, I used the flat rate boxes that you can get for free through USPS. It's like crazy windy here today, guys, like overly windy. So I have these little, you know, things in here and there that I, you know, put on there to keep it down. So I'm gonna take this and put it just inside. I know that it's gonna cover the area so we don't get that giant mark in the back. That should work well. And then I'm gonna take the bleach, and you can still see the chalk outline, it's still there. And I'm just gonna go and kind of spray right within that area. Spray it nice and good in the middle. It's gonna bleed a little bit. You know, it's gonna get bigger, but that's okay. So we're gonna keep this out in the sun until it turns white, and then we can flip it over and let it go a little whiter. And then I'll show you in a little bit how we sublimate and tie-dye it.
Okay, everybody, we are ready to do the tie-dyeing on the watermelon crawl shirt. I am doing it inside, so I just put a black garbage bag on my dining room table, have my gloves on. Again, I use the SCI tie-dye. I use the neon one for this shirt. So I went ahead and sublimated the image here. If you drink don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. And I used Printer's Jack paper and XC Inkjet ink. I have a Sawgrass SG500, so they're cartridges that go in there. But I sublimated this at 400 degrees for 60 seconds, and this is what we have. I did let this sit out for quite a while in the sun to get it nice and white, and we did both sides. So what we're gonna do, this is hot pink. You always want to give it a good shake, because if it sits for a little while, it gets kind of sticky, almost thick and sticky. So what I'm gonna do is the same method that I did with the bleach. I scrunch it up. Now with the bleach, I scrunch the whole thing up at once, but with the tie-dye, you wanna keep it kind of in one area at a time so you can control it a little bit better. And it's gonna get on the green, and that's okay. But just give it, I wouldn't say a tight scrunch, but a light scrunch. And same thing with the bleach. If you feel like it didn't get somewhere where you want it to, like up inside, just move. If you don't feel like you have it in the right spot or you want more somewhere, just scrunch it up again and spray like inside of the little crests and crevices, I guess you would say. So I'm just gonna do it again, give it a nice little shake, give it a quick little spray, open it up, there's your pink. Like I said, it gets on the green, but I think it gives it a little character. So you're just gonna take it and just keep on scrunching and spraying and opening, making sure you're getting it wherever you like, just as so. When you are done with the pink, when you're done with it, can you grab me a paper towel, please? When you're done with it, you let it dry 100%. So what I do is I just set it in front of one of my big like floor fans, and I let it sit for a couple hours. And then to heat set it in, you have to put it in the dryer for 30 minutes, and then it's good to go. It doesn't fade, it doesn't wash out. It works really, really well. And I try not to get it too much on the actual sublimation words, but you know, you can't help it. And you just keep going and you keep going. All right, so here is the shirt all done. So I'm gonna go let it sit with the fan for probably 1 or 2 hours, let it air dry completely, and then put it in the dryer for 30 minutes to heat set, and then you are done. If you guys wanna stay tuned, I'm gonna do a white shirt with a green and neon red watermelon crawl. Watch for that coming soon. Thanks, guys.